Big Z Reviews. A Quiet Place Part 2 is a film that was delayed right as the pandemic was starting in 2020. And now it's finally came out. And it is an excellent film. And it was my first trip back to the movie theaters. And I really enjoyed it.
I don't know why you came all the way up here.
There's nothing left.
There are people out there. People worth saving.
So once again, this is directed by John Krasinski, and it was written along with him by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. And this stars, the same main cast: Emily Blunt, Millicent Simmons, and Noah Jupe. And this time, addition of Cillian Murphy, because John Krasinski, if you didn't see the first one, is dead. But essentially, it occurs right after the end of the first film. And, you get the first, 10, 15 minutes or so is like a prequel. It's like what happened the day of the invasion or whatever, the comet that crashed to Earth that has these creatures on it. And it's really a lot of stuff there I really liked. I really liked seeing that bit of it. And it's funny, when I rewatched the first one again before I watched it, and I remember thinking that I would love to see the same way like Alien and Aliens. I would love to see that as a sequel, but they don't quite do that. But they do a lot of interesting stuff here, because it feels like the direction is amazing. And I think that it really shows it wasn't John Krasinski, the first film, it wasn't a fluke. I think he is a great director, and I hope he directs more. Maybe not just Quiet Place, like other stuff. I think he has a great eye and a great way of storytelling. I would really appreciate more films from him. So in this film, Part 2, essentially because their farm has been destroyed, they need to try to move on and go somewhere else. And they are on the kind of journey, and they're barefoot still, but they leave the path of the salt or the chalk or whatever, and they have to go off into the world. And there's some brutal stuff. I love though that the Chekhov's gun, they love doing that, but it works really well. They set up something, they show you it, and then that eventually that's going to come into play. And the same way with the first one, the nail sticking out the stairboard, but they do it so well. I love it. And essentially they meet Cillian Murphy, who was a friend of the dad's back before the attack, and he wants him, Millicent, she wants to try to go to a radio station that's playing music and try to maybe broadcast the thing from her cochlear implant that hurts the aliens, and he wants to broadcast that to try to help everyone fight back. And there's so much that is just excellent about it. And I love that. The only thing I didn't love maybe was that stuff happens so that they all have to separate to tell the story. And I was like, okay, yeah, but then also once they separate, they have to separate even further to set up drama and suspense for later. And I was like, okay, come on, maybe don't do that, but at the same time, it works. It's so suspenseful, and all the acting is great, and it was a great return to theaters, even though I went on a Memorial Day with my brother, and we were the only ones in the theater, so we had theater to ourselves. So it's actually a great way to start going back in the pandemic. We're both vaccinated, but still, it's sometimes a little awkward going back to things we used to do because it's been so long. But seeing this in the theater was amazing. I would highly recommend going out to theaters to see it. This movie is worth it. I'd probably give an 8.75 or 9 out of 10. It's a great film. Thanks for watching. And if you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.